In the Jordan Valley village of Jiftlik, not far from the Dead Sea, farmers are hard at work harvesting sweet, plum, Medjool dates. It is where thousands of trees were planted on 40 acres of land by Dr. Abdel Malek Jaber, the Palestinian-Canadian founder of Hasad Palestine, one of the largest date farms in the Palestinian territories. Jaber says the idea came from traveling.
I looked back in Palestine and saw what's going on and who's doing what, and I really did my homework.
Part of his homework was to look at his competition.
Looking at the Israeli experience, they have very sophisticated business models and state-of-the-art packing houses and grading houses. And when I looked at what's going on, I realized what's missing and what needs to be done.
What was lacking, Jaber says, was the ability to keep up with the competition.
What was missing is the high quality, the consistent quality.
So he purchased the best machinery available, a state-of-art facility at a cost of millions of dollars that will solidify Hasad's position as a major Palestinian date producer.
I discovered that all the Israeli factories have replaced their Israeli machines, Israeli-made machines, and bought Italian machines. And where do these machines go? They come to the Palestinian market. And I said, this is not going to happen.
He now says he upped his game and is able to compete.
The production capacity of this machine is 4 tons per hour, and it has the ability to measure the size of the date and the percentage of air in it.
Jaber's farm and factory sits in Oslo Accords designated Area C of the West Bank, which falls under full Israeli control. He says the decision to invest in Area C and the Palestinian territory wasn't easy. He took a major risk, but says it was worth it.
It's a big challenge to do any business in Zone C. Zone C is under the full control of the Israelis. The Israeli army, the Israeli security, the Israeli government, all Israeli authorities are in charge of Zone C. It's not easy. It costs a lot of money.
One of the major issues facing farmers in the Jordan Valley is water. Hussam Badarne, who oversees the farms at Hasad, says water is scarce in the area and many wells are starting to dry up. He says his farm is one of the lucky ones as it has its own well.
We have a well that brings to the surface 70 cubic meters of water per hour. Because the Israelis do not allow us to dig deep, this leads to a high level of salinity. Our well has a salinity of 3,000 parts per million, and because of the Israeli occupation, we face great difficulty in maintaining and expanding the well.
Hasad Palestine owns more than 2,500 trees and manages some 10,000 others. It employs some 100 people. During harvest, the number of people working here could double, depending on production and the season. Dr. Jaber says he plans to inject millions of dollars in his business because he wants to double the number of trees and triple production. Jaber says many of business failures in Area C was because Palestinians were dealing with the problems individually.
This requires a bold, aggressive approach. It needs investment, but it's worth it.
Agriculture has long formed a pillar of Palestinian society, bringing in much-needed income and creating a bond between man and land. Jihad Asal, governor of Jericho and Jordan Valley, says Palestinians need more businesses in the Jordan Valley to create new jobs.
We lack such factories and we desperately need them. The existence of a company such as Hasad works to strengthen the steadfastness of farmers and our people on their land.
Palestinian date farms are essential to asserting Palestinian control and ownership of the land in the Jordan Valley. But small farmers are seriously talking about abandoning the land altogether. And that's where Jaber says his sense of social responsibility kicked in.
We will sell your dates for you against the commission, 6%. Now, and we will give you a minimum price, and we'll give you a down payment.
Date farming is considered one of the most important sectors of Palestinian agriculture in the West Bank and has become a major part of the Palestinian economy. The industry has grown many folds in the last 2 decades. He is keen on helping other Palestinian farmers and businesses to succeed by helping them conquer new markets. Jaber is sure that financial security will lead to achieving the Palestinian dream.
I believe every single job that you create in Palestine gets us closer to having our dream of an independent state.
Jaber's farm and factory is surrounded by dozens of Israeli settlements, as Israel military controls 90% of the Jordan Valley. Yet, he doesn't deal with any Israeli farmers.
We don't have any relationship with any Israeli farmers or any Israeli packing houses. We are competitors. We learn from them.
Jaber is optimistic about the future of his business and that of other Palestinian date businesses in the Jordan Valley. With increased production and growing market share, the future looks greener for Palestinian date growers. Muhammad Al-Qasim in the West Bank, reporting for the Media Line.